Did you know? Those smooth, delicious cans of green beans you often see stacked high on supermarket shelves, or those delectable cans of tuna in glossy olive oil, all could vanish overnight if a crisis occurs. Not bread, not clean water. What will the government choose to prioritize stockpiling first? It's those seemingly ordinary canned goods that are survival weapons when everything collapses. Just one storm, a widespread power outage, or simply a break in the supply chain. These cans of food will become invaluable treasures. If you don't know what they are, you're missing the opportunity to safeguard your family in difficult times. Watch now before it all disappears from the shelves. Do you still remember those afternoons after work, stopping by the neighborhood supermarket, picking up a few cans of beans for a quick dinner? The tender beans, evenly seasoned, just open the lid, heat them up, and you have a nutritious meal right away. It's no coincidence that canned beans have become the top choice in every kitchen across America. From hearty English breakfasts with baked beans to fragrant Texas chili, canned beans are always an essential, easy to prepare, and incredibly convenient ingredient. But few know that canned beans are also one of the foods that the U.S. government prioritizes stockpiling in national reserve programs. The reason is simple, yet compelling. Canned beans contain a large amount of protein, fiber, and essential minerals for the body. In emergency situations such as floods, natural disasters, or supply chain disruptions, canned beans become a sustainable source of nutrition, capable of being stored for up to 5 years without losing their nutritional value. In fact, U.S. national reserves always ensure millions of cans of beans are ready in case of emergency. Famous brands like Bush's, Goya, and Heinz are familiar names, providing high-quality beans for community support programs. People in areas affected by floods or natural disasters often receive relief packages filled with cans of beans. Not just a simple food, canned beans are a lifeline in the most challenging times. This doesn't just stop at consumer demand. The U.S. government also increased its purchases of canned beans to replenish national reserves. According to a report by FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, in 2024, the number of canned beans in reserve increased by 20% compared to the previous year, in preparation for future emergencies. This is the first time in the past 10 years that the U.S. government has had to increase food purchases in such large quantities. Many experts predict that if severe weather conditions continue, the price of canned beans will rise sharply in 2025. Broken supply chains, reduced bean production, while consumer demand continues to rise. Beans are no longer just food. They are survival, an economic analyst commented. And perhaps, in the not-too-distant future, canned beans will become a type of soft gold on supermarket shelves, sought after no less than luxury goods. Do you wonder if your kitchen is adequately prepared to face these fluctuations? If one day those familiar cans of beans are no longer on the shelves, will you have enough to sustain your family's meals? Don't wait until it's too late. There's something peculiar, but equally fascinating. If you step into any supermarket in America during crises or floods, the first empty shelf isn't for bread or drinking water. It's for canned soup. Cans of Campbell's chicken noodle soup, Progresso beef stew, or Amy's organic vegetable soup disappear within hours of a disaster announcement. Consumers line up, filling their carts with cans of soup as if it were an insurance policy for the stormy days ahead. What has made canned soup the star of emergency food shelves? The answer lies in 3 crucial factors: convenience, nutrition, and exceptional shelf life. No need for elaborate cooking, just open the lid and heat it up, and you have a warm and nutritious meal. In each can of soup, you'll find protein from chicken, beef, or beans, fiber from vegetables, along with a mineral-rich broth. All are carefully sealed, preserved for up to 2 to 3 years without refrigeration, ready for any emergency situation. The U.S. government recognized the value of canned soup early on, in the 1960s, when FEMA, U.S. Federal Emergency Management Agency, began stockpiling millions of cans in national reserves. Disasters like Hurricane Katrina in 2005 or Hurricane Sandy in 2012 proved that canned soup is the perfect choice for rapid distribution to people in affected areas. No refrigeration needed, no complicated cooking, just a mini gas stove or even eating it directly is enough to sustain life through difficult days. According to a report by the USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture, the demand for canned soup increased by 18% in just the first months of 2024, as unusual storms continuously swept through the Northeast and Midwest of America. Famous brands like Campbell's, Progresso, and Amy's Kitchen had to increase production to meet market demand. Shelves at Walmart and Costco frequently became empty. People are buying soup like it's gold, a Walmart employee shared when seeing cans of soup disappear from shelves just a few hours after opening. Forecasts from economic experts show that if climate change continues to worsen, the price of canned soup could increase by an additional 20% in 2025. Disrupted supply chains, increased transportation costs, along with decreased vegetable production, could make familiar cans of soup more luxurious than ever. And it's not just a matter of price. Finding canned soup on shelves will also become a real hunt. So the question is, are you adequately prepared for the uncertain days ahead? When natural disasters, floods, or crises occur, familiar cans of soup can become a lifeline for your family. Not just a quick meal, canned soup is also a symbol of smart preparation, helping you stand firm against any challenge. It's no coincidence that you always see cans of peas, sweet corn, carrots, and potatoes stacked high on the shelves of Walmart or Costco. They are not just simple canned vegetables. They are also a crucial lifeline whenever a crisis occurs. From the devastating floods in the Northeast to the prolonged droughts in California, canned vegetables are always the first things sought after and prioritized in emergency relief programs. Imagine a cold winter afternoon. A blizzard strikes unexpectedly. The power goes out, the streets are covered in white snow, the supermarket is empty. You open your small kitchen cabinet, and on the first shelf are dozens of cans of green beans, sweet corn, carrots, all still fresh, thanks to being sealed in sturdy metal cans. With just a few minutes of heating, you have a nutritious meal right away. No complicated cooking, no refrigeration needed. Canned vegetables are the silent hero in the most difficult times. The U.S. government has long recognized the importance of canned vegetables in emergency reserve programs. In national storage facilities, millions of cans of peas, sweet corn, carrots, and potatoes are carefully sealed, neatly arranged, ready for distribution in emergency situations. FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, regularly adds canned vegetables to its priority list, ensuring that when natural disasters or crises occur, people still have enough safe and nutritious food. According to a recent report by the USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture, vegetable production in California and Florida, the two main vegetable-producing states in the U.S., has sharply declined due to prolonged droughts and unusual floods. Once lush green cornfields now lie barren and cracked. Carrot and pea gardens wither under the scorching sun, with harvest yields falling by 15% in just 1 year. This has forced canned vegetable processing plants to cut production, pushing canned vegetable prices up significantly. Consumers quickly recognized this change. Canned vegetable shelves at Walmart and Costco were quickly emptied whenever there was news of floods or food shortages. A Costco employee shared, "People are buying canned vegetables like it's gold. Shelves are empty within hours of restocking." Not only that, many supermarkets have had to limit the quantity purchased per customer to prevent hoarding. Famous brands like Green Giant, Del Monte, and Libby's have become the most sought-after names. not only for their quality, but also for their long shelf life, up to 3 to 5 years if kept at room temperature. This explains why the government always prioritizes buying large quantities of canned vegetables to store in national reserves. In an emergency, millions of cans of vegetables can be quickly transported to affected areas, helping people maintain safe and nutritious meals. Forecasts from economic experts show that if climate change is not mitigated, canned vegetable prices will continue to rise sharply in 2025. Prolonged droughts, unusual natural disasters, and disrupted supply chains will make finding canned vegetables more difficult than ever. Some people have even started buying and storing large quantities, carefully packaged for long-term preservation, in case shelves become empty during the next crises. The question is, have you prepared enough canned vegetables for your family? When shelves are bare, when fresh food becomes a luxury, will you have enough reserves to get through the difficult months? Don't wait until it's too late to realize that canned green beans, sweet corn, or carrots, things that seem so simple, are a precious lifeline in the most critical moments. Try to imagine a tense situation. A major storm hits. The power system is down. Roads are blocked due to flooding. Supermarkets are emptied in the first few hours. Amidst that chaos, fresh food quickly becomes priceless, and the only thing left is canned meat. No refrigeration needed, no complicated preparation, just a simple pop of the lid, and you have a protein-rich meal to fight hunger and maintain health. But the story doesn't just stop at convenience. Canned meat has long been one of the crucial food sources that the U.S. government particularly prioritizes stockpiling. It's no coincidence that cans of Spam, corned beef, or chicken breast are always present in every national reserve, ready to be distributed to people when disaster or crisis strikes. The history of canned meat began in the years of World War II, when Spam became a popular food in the U.S. military. The compact, easy-to-store, and nutritious cans of meat helped feed millions of soldiers through long marches, lacking fresh food supplies. After the war, Spam was no longer just military food, but also spread to every American household, becoming part of the culinary memory of an entire generation. But things don't just stop there. Recent climate change has severely impacted the livestock industry. Prolonged droughts in the Midwest, the main supplier of meat for processing plants, have severely disrupted the meat supply. Dry, waterless pastures, insufficient feed for livestock have led to a sharp decline in production. As a result, fresh meat has become scarcer than ever, pushing prices up at major supermarkets across the U.S. Consumers quickly recognized this trend. Canned meat shelves at Walmart and Costco were emptied within hours of announcements of floods or supply chain disruptions. A Walmart employee shared, "People are buying canned meat like it's gold. Shelves are empty within hours of restocking." To prevent hoarding, many supermarkets have had to limit the quantity purchased per customer. Not only consumers, but the U.S. government has also accelerated the stockpiling of canned meat in national reserves. According to a recent report, the quantity of canned meat in federal storage facilities has increased by 15% compared to the previous year. Cans of Spam, corned beef, and chicken breast are carefully sealed, neatly arranged in storage facilities in Texas, Nevada, and California, ready for immediate distribution when an emergency occurs. Experts predict that if severe weather conditions do not improve, canned meat prices could continue to rise by 20% by the end of 2025. Consumers have become more aware of the importance of stockpiling essential foods. Many families buy cases of canned meat, carefully packaged and stored in their basements, in case supermarket shelves become empty. So, have you prepared enough canned meat for your family? In times of floods or crises, when everything becomes scarce, a can of meat can be a precious lifeline. Don't wait until it's too late, because then, finding a simple can of meat will become a challenging battle. there's an intriguing detail that often goes unnoticed. Among the array of canned goods on supermarket shelves, canned fruits are consistently placed in the most conspicuous locations, right near the main aisles. It's no coincidence that those gleaming cans of peaches, pears, and pineapples invariably appear in the most accessible spots. This is because canned fruits are not merely ordinary food items. They are a crucial component of emergency reserves, a stable source of nutrition that the U.S. government always prioritizes for initial stockpiling. Indeed, canned fruits have become an indispensable part of national reserves for decades. FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, and the USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture, consistently ensure that emergency storage facilities are well stocked with canned fruit supplies, sufficient to sustain millions of individuals during critical situations. In storage centers across Nevada and Texas, millions of cans of fruit from major brands like Dole, Del Monte, and Libby's are stacked high, carefully sealed, ready for distribution when needed. The reason is straightforward yet compelling. Canned fruits provide a substantial amount of vitamin C, fiber, and essential minerals that the body requires to maintain health. Unlike fresh produce that can spoil within days, canned fruits can be preserved for up to 3 to 5 years while retaining their nutritional value. This makes them an ideal food source during natural disasters or supply chain disruptions. Remember the historic snowstorm of 2023 in Texas? At that time, roads were impassable, electricity was out, and people couldn't access fresh food. Canned fruits became a savior for thousands of households stranded by the storm. One resident in Austin shared, "If it wasn't for those canned peaches and pears, we wouldn't have had any fruit for weeks." The U.S. government distributed millions of cans of fruit from emergency reserves, helping thousands of people overcome hardship. A remarkable aspect of canned fruits is their preservation method. Immediately after harvesting, the finest fresh fruits are processed and canned within hours, retaining almost all their nutritional value. The vacuum sealing, sterilization, and meticulous sealing process allows these cans of fruit to last for many years without being affected by the external environment. Amidst increasingly severe climate change, fresh fruit scarcity has begun to appear in numerous U.S. states. California, a region renowned for its vast orchards, is facing prolonged droughts, causing a significant reduction in harvest yields. Fresh fruit prices in major supermarkets have started to escalate, and consumers are gradually shifting towards canned fruits due to their convenience and long shelf life. Experts predict that if fresh fruit scarcity persists, canned fruit prices could increase by an additional 15 to 20% by the end of 2025. Beyond just price, the shelves brimming with canned fruits at Walmart and Costco could soon become bare within hours of opening. Consumers have started to stockpile more, carefully packing and storing them in small kitchen corners, in case of continued natural disasters or crises. So, have you adequately prepared yourself and your family with canned fruits to weather any fluctuations? When fresh peaches, pears, and pineapples become a luxury, it will be those gleaming cans of fruit that will be a precious lifeline, a fortress safeguarding your health during the most challenging times. Amidst the array of products consumers scramble for on supermarket shelves whenever there's a disruption, few notice that canned fish disappears the fastest. Those compact cans of tuna, salmon, and sardines, seemingly simple, hold within them a resilient power to overcome any crisis. When fresh food becomes scarce, when power systems fail, or when natural disasters strike unexpectedly, those cans of fish are the crucial aid in maintaining nutrition, protecting health, and ensuring survival. Indeed, canned fish is not just a choice for ordinary consumers, but also one of the commodities that the U.S. government prioritizes for stockpiling in national reserves. As early as the 1950s, during the Cold War era, the U.S. government stored millions of cans of fish in emergency shelters in case of war or catastrophe. Since then, canned fish has become an indispensable part of every emergency preparedness program of FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency. Beyond being a convenient food, canned fish is also a rich source of protein and omega-3 fatty acids. Just one 180-gram can of tuna provides up to 40% of an adult's daily protein requirement. Additionally, omega-3s help boost cardiovascular health, improve brain function, and strengthen the immune system, extremely vital factors in conditions of nutritional deficiency. This explains why the U.S. government consistently prioritizes the purchase and storage of canned fish, as it is not only easy to preserve, but also provides significant nutritional value in a compact form. Beyond the domestic market, the U.S. also exports a significant amount of canned fish to Europe and Asia. However, this also means that when supply chains are disrupted, familiar cans of fish like bumblebee, star-kissed, or chicken of the sea also become scarcer. According to statistics from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, in 2024, canned tuna prices increased by over 15% due to supply disruptions from major fishing areas in the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. The reasons include climate change, more frequent sea storms, and the dwindling natural fish populations. Consumers recognize this shift and have begun to stockpile. Canned fish shelves at Walmart and Costco quickly empty whenever there are disaster warnings or news of shortages. One employee at Costco shared, "People are buying canned fish like it's gold. Shelves are empty within hours of restocking." Cans of tuna, salmon, and sardines, once considered ordinary, have now become coveted items, no less sought after than premium foods. To prepare for potential shortages, many families in the U.S. have begun purchasing canned fish in large quantities, vacuum sealing and storing them in their basements. On online forums, people share methods for preserving canned fish for up to 5 years while maintaining its quality. Many are even investing in sturdy metal shelves to organize hundreds of cans of fish, ready for any situation that may arise. Economic experts predict that if fishing conditions do not improve, canned fish prices could increase by an additional 20% by the end of 2025. Beyond just price, finding canned fish on store shelves will also become a genuine challenge for many families. Empty shelves and cans of fish disappearing within hours of opening will no longer be rare sights. So, the question arises, have you adequately prepared your family? When shelves are bare, when fresh fish supplies are depleted, those small cans of fish will become a nutritional fortress, safeguarding your family's health in any situation. Be ready before it's too late. Have you ever wondered why, whenever a crisis strikes, canned pasta invariably disappears from store shelves first? Those simple cans of ravioli, spaghetti, or mac and cheese, seemingly intended only for quick meals, become a savior for millions amidst storms, floods, and even widespread power outages. Requiring no refrigeration and no complex cooking, just opening the lid provides a warm, filling, and nutritious meal. Indeed, canned pasta is not just a convenient food for busy days, but also an essential component of U.S. government emergency reserves. Since the 1950s, with the onset of the Cold War, the U.S. government began stockpiling millions of cans of pasta in national shelters in case of war or disaster. Cans of Campbell's SpaghettiOs and Chef Boyardee ravioli became symbols of thorough preparation, ensuring that citizens would not lack nutrition even if everything outside collapsed. In 2012, when Hurricane Sandy swept across the east coast of the U.S., thousands of residents in New Jersey and New York were stranded for days without electricity, water, and no open stores. In those dire moments, it was canned pasta that helped them overcome hunger. It is recounted that with just a small lighter to warm them, cans of SpaghettiOs or beefaroni became a luxury meal amidst the darkness and cold. Canned pasta was the only thing we could eat for days, It kept us going, shared a resident of Hoboken, New Jersey, after that historic storm. Not just a story of the past, canned pasta continues to play a vital role in national reserves. FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, consistently ensures that a large quantity of canned pasta is stored in emergency centers across the U.S. Each can of pasta is carefully packaged, sterilized, and tightly sealed, allowing it to be preserved for 2 to 5 years without spoilage. This is why, when natural disasters, floods, or crises occur, the government can distribute millions of cans of pasta to the people in the shortest amount of time. Shortages of canned pasta also began to appear in many U.S. states in late 2024, when wheat prices soared due to prolonged droughts in the Midwest. Major brands like Campbell's, Chef Boyardee, and SpaghettiOs were forced to limit production due to a lack of raw materials. Shelves at Walmart and Costco frequently became bare within hours of opening. Consumers rushed to buy, filling their carts with case after case of pasta, hoping to stockpile enough for the difficult days ahead. An employee at Walmart shared, "People are buying canned pasta like it's gold. Shelves are empty within hours of restocking." Beyond just price, finding canned pasta also became a challenge as production plants reduced capacity. Flavorful cans of ravioli and tomato sauce, creamy mac and cheese, or spaghetti with rich beef sauce suddenly became hot items on e-commerce platforms, with prices doubling or even tripling during many shortage periods. To cope with this situation, many families in the U.S. have begun stockpiling canned pasta more seriously. They buy large cases, carefully pack them, and store them in their basements or emergency supply closets. Some even invest in sturdy metal racks to arrange hundreds of cans, ready to respond to any potential hardship. Experts predict that if wheat production does not improve, canned pasta prices could continue to rise by the end of 2025. Beyond just price, finding familiar cans of pasta on store shelves will also become more difficult than ever. So, have you adequately prepared your family? When shelves are bare, when fresh pasta becomes a luxury, those cans of pasta will be a precious lifeline helping you weather any storm. Don't wait until it's too late to realize their value. It might not be obvious to everyone, but whenever a major storm hits, cans of condensed milk and powdered milk disappear from store shelves first. Amidst the chaos of crowded supermarkets, the sight of families vying for every can of milk is startling. Is this just ordinary preparation, or a sign of something much larger? In reality, canned milk is not just an ordinary commodity. It is a strategic asset in any emergency situation. Since World War II, condensed milk and powdered milk have been staple nutrients in U.S. national food reserves. These compact, tightly sealed cans of milk can be preserved for up to 5 years without refrigeration. The U.S. government clearly understands their importance, especially in prolonged crisis situations. With a can of condensed milk, one can dilute it into fresh milk, cook porridge, bake cakes, or even substitute it for cream when fresh supplies are unavailable. Powdered milk is even more versatile. Just add water, and you have a delicious, nutritious glass of milk. In 2024, when prolonged droughts in California and climate change caused a severe decline in fresh milk production, milk prices on the market skyrocketed. Dairy farms in Fresno and Bakersfield were parched, the grass withered yellow, and water sources dried up. Farmers were forced to sell off their herds because they lacked sufficient feed and water. As a result, fresh milk prices in major supermarkets like Walmart and Costco escalated, prompting many families to switch to canned milk due to its more stable price and long shelf life. Beyond just market demand, the U.S. government also swiftly increased its stockpiling of canned milk. FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, ordered millions of cans of condensed milk and powdered milk to replenish national reserves. In storage centers in Nevada and Texas, cases of milk were neatly arranged, tightly sealed, ready for distribution when a crisis occurred. An employee at a storage center shared, "We don't just store milk, we store survival." Experts predict that if climate change continues, canned milk prices will continue to rise by the end of 2025. Beyond just price, finding milk on store shelves will also become more difficult. Cans of condensed milk and powdered milk, once considered ordinary, have now become white gold that is highly sought after. And when everything becomes scarce, whoever possesses canned milk will hold the nutritional security of their family. Have you adequately prepared your family? When fresh milk becomes a luxury, when shelves are bare, those small cans of milk will become a fortress safeguarding your health against any disruption. Be ready before it's too late. When the storm passes, when the lights turn back on, the empty shelves will be the most painful reminder. Only those who know how to prepare can overcome. Are you ready?